China's state media has reported that a gym roof collapsed while a group of students were practicing volleyball. It occurred at around 3 p.m. on July 23, 2023. By 10 a.m. on July 24th, the last trapped student was found with no vital signs. The total casualties are reported to be 11 deaths, with most of them being teenage girls ranging from 14 to 16 years old. The entire roof fell, burying everyone in the gym. The number 34 middle school is one of the better schools in the city. It has 2 campuses, the old one being where the accident occurred. At the time of the accident, the school was on summer break, and only the school's girl volleyball team was training in the gym. 6 students escaped the accident because they were in another city for a tournament. Parents said the accident happened at about 3 p.m. on July 23rd. The students were taken to the hospital at about 5 p.m. From the time of the accident until midnight on July 24th, more than 6 hours passed, and some girls showed no vital signs, but no one had notified the parents. Number 34 Middle School in Qiqihar, its gym roof collapsed about 4 o'clock. After the accident, the children were sent to various hospitals, one after another. There was the first hospital, the South Campus, the Chinese Medicine Hospital, the Associated No. 2 South Hospital, the Railroad Hospital, and so on. How many children were sent here?
8, now 9. It's 9 now.
How many children have been sent here on our group now? Everyone, raise your hands. Let me count. There's 1. Who else?
9 in total.
You are 1. Who else?
There are different degrees of injuries. It's 9 in total.
3, 4, 5. At least 5 children. At least 5 children. The hospital has now clearly told us that 2 children have no vital signs, and they had no signs of life when brought in. In these 4 to 5 or 6 hours, the school and the police, what have you been doing? Children have no vital signs. Shouldn't you communicate with the families? Don't you need to prepare the family for what's to follow, especially when we have the elderly at home? After all this time, did any of you communicate with us, the families? The police are here. Among those who are standing here, there are people from the Education Bureau and the government. All of you came, but no one made a sound. No one said anything. What are you doing here? What are you instructed to do here? Are you spying on us? Are you checking out the situation? Are you reporting to the leaders?
Doctors won't come out either.
Shouldn't the doctors have communicated with us about the rescue process? There was no communication. Now it's already clear that the first child, Wei Yuxin, is gone. I was desperate and asked the police, please let the doctor talk to us. No one communicated to us. The police are here for duty to prevent people from making trouble. The government staff didn't come to work with the families to ask about the family situation and their demands. None of the staff communicated with the families until Wei Yuxin was gone, and I became desperate. I asked the police to help me communicate. I said, you talk to the doctors, have them give us feedback on the children's situation, but there was no communication. Then I went in by myself. Nothing was working. Finally, I went in myself. I begged and kowtowed. I said, I beg you, what's the situation of my child? Please tell me, even if she's gone, so I can prepare myself mentally and so the elderly members of the family can be prepared too. Okay, a few parents went in. I was told to stay and they would talk to me alone. I rushed back from out of town. The doctor told me my daughter was brought in around 5 or 7 p.m. What time is it now?
12 a.m.
For a long time, no one gave me any information. Not a single staff, not a single public security officer, not a single member of the Education Bureau, the street office, or the government. No one communicated anything with us families during this period. What about schools? What about the Education Bureau? Shouldn't you talk to the families? You, the police comrades, you are here to maintain order. You are afraid of parents making trouble, or something might go out of control. That's your job, but which of us is making trouble? You're always blocking right in front of us. The police always stand in the front. We are gathered here because of an accident. We are patients and we have problems with the hospital and the medical treatment. No one is making trouble, but the police are always blocking us. Is this how things are in Qiqihar? The leader came. The minute he arrived, he was making calls, reporting it to his superiors, level by level. 12 children were buried under the gym. The provincial party committee and the party secretary have emphasized the importance of the situation. The mayor and the city party secretary should be here, but they are not. Right.
None of them came. Nobody has shown up so far.
One city leader came.
He left.
The mayor and the city party secretary aren't here. Only a district leader came. What did he do? He came and said, "I don't have the phone number of the doctors. I can't communicate. This is what's happening now. I was told my daughter was gone. I said we didn't take care of the kid. All the kids looked gray or had dirt, dust, and blood on their faces. I said, let me take a look. Let me see if it's my child. An hour went by and I still didn't get a chance to identify her. Did the doctor try to perform the rescue? It's been an hour and I haven't been allowed to go in and do the identification." Doctors won't come out. To the leaders, it's just a few people who died. So what? It's no big deal. You guys get the video out. In Qiqihar, this isn't a big deal? A group of parents told overseas Chinese media outlets that the local government sent many police officers to stabilize the parents of the deceased students and black out the online news after the incident. So what could have caused the complete collapse of the gym roof? Some people saw in the video that many sandbags were placed on the rooftop, and there were vehicles that continued to bring such bags. State media reported on July 24th that workers working on a new school building next to the gym had illegally piled perlite on the rooftop of the gym. Due to the continuous rainfall in recent days, the perlite was soaked in water and gained weight, leading to the collapse. The person responsible for the construction of the academic complex has been taken into police custody. Public information shows that the gym was completed in 1997 with a construction area of about 1,200 square meters and an investment of 2.3 million yuan or US 320,000. It's a grid structure and the roof is a concrete slab. The public has raised many questions about the claim that perlite caused the collapse. They wrote, "It's obviously not objective to place all the blame on the construction unit for piling up perlite. I am afraid that the construction company of the gym is also to blame for the accident." It's clear from the video that the first responders could easily throw a bag of perlite to the side, and that could have crushed the roof. Even if it did crush the roof, it should only be the part where the perlite was piled up. How come the entire roof collapsed? Don't cover it up by picking a cause and blaming it all on one party. We need a convincing truth. Mr. Xia Yifan, a Japan-based current affairs commentator and a structural engineer, told overseas Chinese media that the accident was related to the construction quality of the building. He said the steel grid structure is a common building structure with a strong bearing capacity. Judging from the photos, the reason for the collapse of the roof is most likely due to a problem with the connection between the reinforced concrete columns and the steel grid. Moreover, the drone photos show that the damage didn't happen in certain areas, but the entire roof caved in, which shows that it isn't the perlite that caused the collapse. The engineer pointed out that since the Chinese Communist Party took power in China, construction quality has been on a downward spiral. Basically, from traditional masonry to advanced steel structures, from low-tech, low-rise homes to high-rise buildings of tens of stories, from low-rise structures to rural villages to skyscrapers in the metropolis, and from individual family houses to dams involving the lives of millions, none of them are immune to tofu dreg construction. Under the red regime of the CCP, a construction project's feasibility study, completion, and approval, and even its usage are fraught with quirks and variations. First, experts conducting feasibility studies may have to yield to authority and choose inherently flawed structural forms that could lead to building collapses or dam failures. Second, officials in charge of construction projects are very likely subject to bribery. The Chinese media have reported that this step may result in a loss of up to 30% of a project's capital. Third, the contractors of the project may cut corners to save cost. Fourth, the regulators of the project may be negligent in their duties. They are subject to bribery as well. Fifth, the construction workers at the bottom of the construction process, who are most likely migrant laborers, may have their wages deducted, which happens regularly in China. Sixth, when a worker's hard work isn't valued, they are less likely to remain committed and responsible.